Hi there, welcome to our video about the Tamiya Rising Fighter. Today I've got my friend Rob with me. He brought his Rising Fighter along.
Hi everyone.
And I've got Alf on the camera.
Hello.
Glad to have you back, Alf, for this one. Missed you for the last one, guy. Anyway, here we go. The Rising Fighter. I think it's one of Tamiya's cheapest kits. It's good fun, but because it's cheap, it is a bit limited. It's a bit restricted. It's very cheaply made, cheap components, and the handling is pretty poor, to be honest with you, out the box.
It is.
But it's pretty nippy because being cheap, it's made of a lot of light plastic. We've got a side rear axle at the back, so we've got no transmission loss through drive shafts and that type of thing. So it gets all the power down to the wheels, and it is pretty fast, even with the silver can. But you know, Rob and myself, we can't keep things standard, so this is what we've done to hop up and mod the car on a budget. Because it's a cheap car, we didn't want to spend a lot of money on it, did we, Rob?
No, not at all.
So basically we've used bits and bobs we've got in our spares boxes, spares from other Tamiya cars, and a few cheap off-the-shelf components. And I think we've made quite a difference now, so yeah, let's go through them, Rob. Should we take the covers off?
Yep.
Take the bodies off. At the back. Right, number one thing, Rob, what do we order with the kits?
Ball bearings.
Ball bearings. You can't leave the standard Tamiya bushes on, can you, mate?
You can't.
They just wear out, sap the power, waste of time. So on both of them now, you see, we've got nice free-flowing bearings on there. Makes a big difference before we start to do anything else. And because we like the cars to go a bit quicker, number one thing, let's change the motor which we got the bearings in.
It's the easiest, simplest thing to do, isn't it, really?
It is. If you want to go quicker,
yeah.
Put a lower turn motor in. Again, for cheapness, we went with brush motors. The standard 27, so okay, like I said. Rob, we both tried one of these. Well, you tried it first. It's is it Absima? Is that it? Absima Eco 15?
Yes,
I think it's called Absima. Anyway, you can check these out on the internet. It's a Thrust Eco 15. They do them in lots of different turns. I think it starts at 21 down to about, I think 13 is the lowest they go. I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, these things are great. They're cheap, about 10 quid a throw. They spin really fast for the money. This one, I think it's over 30,000 revs, isn't it, Rob?
It is. It's ridiculous.
So, what did you think? You did fit it in yours, didn't you?
I did try it in mine, and after one run, took it back out and put a bigger turn motor in because it was just too fast. It was hopping all over the place. It kept turning over on corners. It was just uncontrollable.
Yeah.
It is possible to go overboard, isn't it, sometimes?
It certainly is.
Well, it was for this kit even, because it's not really got very sophisticated suspension, I can tell you that. So, yeah, we both ended up with the same motor, but with the 21 turn. And I think even that spins over 25,000 revs, doesn't it, Rob? So
yeah.
Compared to silver can at about 14,000, it makes a big difference. The car is actually pretty quick. So yeah, we like that motor. It's fitted in both there. Straight swap. We didn't have to change the ESCs or anything. Right, so after a few runs with it, I noticed mine was losing power. Can you zoom in on this, Alf? There's the differential, and there's the spur gear. I haven't got the pinion. Basically, there's no teeth left on that. So there you go.
Completely mangled.
That's what happened when somehow, I don't know how, but dust got into the gearbox housing. I don't know. I built it the same as Rob. It got in and it's just trashed the thing completely. Luckily, it wasn't too expensive. But talking to Rob about it, he had a good idea, and he's come up with this really, really simple, cheap mod. You can see in there now, if you've got that, Alf. I've put a 17 turn steel pinion in there. If I'm going to change it, might as well go to steel. It's only about 4 quid. Much better. And now we can see after every run, just have a quick look in there. You can see everything's all meshing up nice. There's no muck in there.
Yeah, so if there was dirt, you could take it out and clean it
before it created too much damage.
That bad, yeah.
So there's the plexiglass. It's hard to see, isn't it, on this?
Yeah.
And if you can see on my hand there. How'd you make that, Rob? What's it made of?
It's about a 2mm plexiglass that I've got lying around. I tried to make some display cases for some of my models that I've built over the years using this plexiglass, and that was just some spare left over.
Like that's how we like it, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit of extra we got lying around.
That's it.
Didn't you trace around the original? There's
Yeah.
the original case. So just trace around the original, drill the holes
Yeah,
through.
with a permanent marker just to get the outline. Cut it out with junior hacksaws, and then smoothed it down with like a Dremel type multi-tool.
Excellent, and you can see that fitted onto Rob's again. Same thing. You've still got the alley one in there because, well, it's not broke. Don't change it.
Yeah.
But at least you can see, like you say, you can see now if it's got any dust or even if it's starting to get anywhere without taking it apart. So great mod there, Rob. Cheers for that one. What do we do next? Shocks, I think, wasn't it?
It was.
Or it might have been actually before the motor. I can't remember because those friction shocks that come with it are awful. They are abysmal. So, well, I think we've both gone at the front with the 75mm Tamiya CVAs, basically. You see mine's looking a little bit lower because I've put some spacers inside the body housing there, the body of the shock, underneath the piston, just to reduce the travel by 2 or 3mm, I think. Trouble was the springs were a bit stiff then, so I chopped the top 2 cores off with a pair of cutters, and now it sits quite a lot lower compared to Rob's. I think 75mm is about the standard length. So yeah, I haven't tried it yet though. We'll do a run video soon and see how that goes. But I like the look of it. It was too high before, kept tipping over, so hopefully that'll lower the centre of gravity a bit and stop it tipping over.
But again, these shocks were ones we had spare.
Yeah.
That we'd taken off other kits.
Other kits, that's
when
it.
we upgraded those with more decent shocks.
Yeah,
so
with
these
alley
ones
shocks.
were off an Aero Vanti that I had, I upgraded.
Yeah, I think mine were the Blitzer Beetle standard ones, I think. But they were in my spares box, so anyway. Let's look at the backs, Rob. Now this is where we've gone a little bit different. Now Rob, again, is pretty good, this guy. He came up with this idea first, and we went up the park, had a bit of a race, and thought, hang on, that thing's bouncing a lot less than mine. What have you done? So yeah, look under the wing, and what he's done is he's put these extenders on the side, which straightens the angle of the shock up, front to back, and also they're a lot wider than mounted at the top, so now it straightens them up and down as well. They were actually tilted quite steeply in. And I don't know about you guys out there, but I always think that a shock absorber works better when it's been forced up and down in a straight line rather than at some kind of crazy angle. So I'm sure that's what made the difference. So I had a hunt through my spares box, found some, well, they look like they'd fit anyway, so I think they're from some steering links. And I was looking earlier and I found these. You can see these are what Rob's found. I'm sure they're part of steering mechanism. I think it might be TTO2 because I had them in my spare box. There's just extras that you get with the kit, so he's just fitted it on there. Again, strains the shock up and moves them out higher, so basically the car then sits lower at the back. And I think they both work a bit better, don't they, Rob?
They do.
So that's front and rear suspension
So didn't
changes.
you say before that basically 80 friction shocks in any set, just throw them
Yeah,
straight
just
away?
throw them in the bin. If you want to go off-road and get the thing handling anywhere near decent, then that's what you need to do. I'm just going to quickly say, while we're on about the back, I've put this brace on the back, gearbox, transmission brace, call it what you will, that stops this up and down movement. I've got a separate video about that. I'll put a link in the descriptions. If you want to see how I've built that, then you can have a look there. But basically, that stops my transmission slapping up and down, which I think is a good mod. Again, haven't tried that one yet, so should have fun the next run we have, Rob.
Yep.
See how it all goes. Right, so we've talked about suspension, front and back. I think we're pretty much there now, aren't we? Oh, wheels. Yeah, wheels and tyres. When I was doing the shell, I don't really like the standard body art. I like going a little bit different anyway. Alfie had these Rockstar stickers left over from his Rising Fighter, his Super Fighter build. He said I could have them, so yeah, 3 stickers, stuck them on. Like the yellow and the blue. I saw a set of these holiday buggy wheels and tyres on eBay. Very cheap for the set of 4. Prefer those, go with the blue nicely. And mainly, I could get rid of these Astrals, not keen on those on this kit. And I wasn't happy with the front tyres.
Yeah, they've got much deeper grooves, haven't they?
Yeah, these are basically on-road tyres, and this is, let's face it, an off-road buggy. So, got the off-road tyres which dig in a lot better on the corners, transforms the steering. It actually turns into a corner now instead of going straight on. So, went with those. The standard pin spikes, I think the square spike Tamiya's on the back. I'm really keen on those tyres.
We've got them on quite a few cars, haven't we?
You can get them. Yeah, they're easily available on the internet. I think they're about £14 a pair. Worth the money. They last quite well, don't they? Alfie, you've had them on yours.
Yeah.
Rob, you've used them too.
Yep.
So pleased with those.
You went slightly differently with your tyres, didn't you, Rob? What have you decided to do?
On the back, I think these are off my Super Fighter.
I think they are, Rob. Yeah.
From memory. I can't remember why I just changed wheels and tyres willy-nilly on some of my buggies and ended up with these tyres on the stock wheels. And
But you definitely trashed the fronts, didn't you, for the new ones? So.
I didn't actually have any thin front wheels, so rather than trying to fit these tyres on to these wider wheels, I found these turf rippers.
Yeah, they're fast tracks, aren't they?
Yeah, fast track turf rippers.
Well, they like £6 or something?
Something stupid,
For the pair?
For the pair, yeah. And they do them in 2 different widths, one for the thinner tyres, for wheels.
Oh, yeah?
And also ones for the thicker wheels here. So I just got some of them and stuck them on, and that's transformed it.
There's one that'll fit the narrower tire. Yeah, again, search them on eBay, quite freely available.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the only other thing, Rob, was another idea, which was to put some glass in the shell.
Yeah.
Again, this is really thin perspex. We cut it out with scissors, I think.
Yeah,
glued.
it's so thin.
It is really thin. I think it's about 1/2 mil. Glued it in.
I think it's less than that.
Is it less than that?
It was the thinnest perspex I found.
Yeah, but it's still pretty unbreakable, you know what Lexan or Perspex is like. And this basically is good because it stops all the dirt and stones flying in and getting stuck inside, because you can't just pull the pins out and whip this off. It has actually got 3 screws, hasn't it, Rob?
Yeah.
And while we're on that subject, we've got this brace here, Alf, on the front. That's why Rob didn't have his body fitted closely on the chassis, because he needs to take that off now to get the body on, don't you?
I do, but because you don't have to take it off to change the battery.
Exactly.
It's just undo one nut, lift it off, swing it out of the way, put the body on, screw it down, screw it all back together.
Yeah, job's a good one. And the reason that Rob's done that, you can show there, Rob, there's a bit of bar that you used.
This is what we used.
Is it 3mm threaded bar?
It is, it's M3, and this is a bit of silicone tubing.
Yeah, it just stops you scuffing the body that through, doesn't it, when you put it on?
It was fairly cheap, yeah. It just hides the thread, as far as I was concerned, when I got it. And I've used it for quite a few of my cars, for braces.
Yeah, the reason it's here is Rob's kindly gave me that bit of spare, and eventually I'll get round to fitting it onto mine, because if you look there, Alpha, you can see this is pretty flimsy, this part of the chassis. There's a little bit of an extra piece of plastic on there to try and stiffen it, but to be honest, it doesn't do a brilliant job. It does move quite easily. I think that stiffens it up quite nicely. That doesn't go anywhere, does it, Rob?
No.
Yeah, that's solid. It's a small price to pay, isn't it, not being able to put the shell on properly?
It is.
Yeah, it just takes an extra minute or two, doesn't it, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically, guys, can you think of anything else we've missed before we say
Yeah.
to Rob? Rob's off.
The steering arms are so thin, and because I'm rubbish at driving, I kept bending mine. So I'd have a run, and then have a crash, pick it up, start running again, and be wondering why it started to turn left all of a sudden,
or right,
or right all of a sudden. And then when I get it back, the bar was bent. So again, I found this. It's M4 threaded bar that I'd got lying round, and these are ball joints just happen to fit. Don't know where they're off.
They look, Rob, like the bottom of a shock mount, don't they?
They do, but the shock mounts are
3
M3.
mil, and that's 4. You should. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
So I really don't know where they came from.
The
But-
fairy put them in his specs
Yeah.
box.
But at the time, I got no M3. I've got loads of different ball joints that fit an M3 thread, but these fitted. So
You can just see there,
I
can't you?
stuck them on, and I've got a video on how I did it because I have had to cut the body a bit
Yeah.
to get it to work properly, and you probably can't see, but one of the ball joints on the servo saver is on the back and the
Oh,
other one's
one's on
on
the
the front because they're that big. But again, it cost me nothing because I've
Even
already
better.
got the stuff.
So, guys, remember, if you want to check out how Rob's done that, and he's also his top brace for the shock mounts, I'm going to put a link in the description. You can click on those to see those upgrade vids. Okay then, guys, that was quite enjoyable. We like these cars. Hopefully we're going to do a comparison run of them going soon, so hopefully check out that video. But for today, thanks for watching. See you soon.
Bye.
So yeah.